What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode number 717 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo. I apologize for the delay. Went right from the parade to Springfield, Virginia, outside of DC to take in the PLL Championship Series. But I am back. We're going to recap the parade, have some fun discussing it, because the Eagles talk ain't stopping anytime soon. I'll let you know that much for show. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. Search Underground Sports Philadelphia wherever you consume your social media content. We are on that platform. Follow me, KBIZZL311 on Twitter, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia and our entire catalog of podcasts on our network. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. We are currently at 1,029 subscribers. We are trying to get to 1,100 subscribers before March Madness tips off. So keep on subscribing. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And let's build this thing up. Let's keep pushing along. The Eagles are Super Bowl champs, guys, and we're bringing you the best content ever. So subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe on Apple and Spotify, and let's keep the good times rolling, because we're not going anywhere anytime soon. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Eagles everywhere, we had ourselves a parade on Valentine's Day. I was at the parade. I was taking on all the sights and sounds from the beginning, then took in all the sights and sounds from social media, from the TV broadcasts, and what a parade we had ourselves. Over 1 million people in attendance for the Super Bowl 59 victory parade. And I genuinely, I was there for a short time. Parade started a little early, too. We got there, and it was starting. I was like, oh, shit, we need to run so we can get close enough. Got there, took in the beginning, and then took in the sights and sounds via social media, being in the streets, walking back to our car. And It was beautiful, and seeing everybody interacting as the parade route went on. It still hasn't set in for me yet. It's been a little over a week now by the time you guys are listening to this, and it still hasn't truly set in that the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. And I thought it would set in at the parade. I thought it would really sink in and hit me that we won the Super Bowl. But I cannot stop watching every single mic'd up, every single clip, every single ounce of media, because I'm just waiting for the moment for it to really hit me. And it still feels like a dream. And genuinely, like, the parade was the epitome of this team celebrating successes that the world should have been celebrating all year long. You look at just the body of work that this team put in this year to afford themselves the opportunity to have a parade is second to none. And seeing the pure joy on every single player's face, seeing them get people involved. Saquon Barkley finds the Eagles ball boy on the parade route, lifts him over the guardrail with no issue whatsoever, like he's lifting up, a pillow, and brings him on the parade route. The Eagles had been inviting the guys from New Jersey, from Princeton, who survived the unfortunate New Orleans terror attack on New Year's Day, and they brought him with them on the parade route, and Saquon brought him up to the podium for his speech and said, "We're doing this together." Josh Sweat ends up wearing Chris Long's fur coat that he wore in the Super Bowl 52 parade. And you see the joy on the young guys throughout this parade route. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Nolan Smith. Like, you just saw the fruits of their labor get celebrated. And those guys knew how hard they worked all year long. And it showcased itself in a beautiful way. Everyone had so much fun. It was a lovely day, a beautiful parade. And not that we necessarily needed a Jason Kelce-esque speech, because this year was so different from 2017, where 2017 was a true underdog story from start to finish, with the amount of injuries that added up to taking down a Goliath in the New England Patriots. The Jason Kelce speech encapsulated that season. But I think the speeches that we got from Jalen Hurts, from Saquon Barkley, from Landon Dickerson, from A.J. Brown, from the exciting lights that were introduced as such, from Lane Johnson to Jordan Mailata singing "We Are the Champions" with that beautiful, eloquent voice of his. Every single speech hit home for what those guys endured this season and how they battled and how they made this season a success. And I loved A.J. Brown dropping the mic on everyone. He said I was a diva. They said all I cared about was stats. You can get all that shit wrong about me, but one thing you'll get right is I'm a fucking champion. I love that. I have been the biggest A.J. Brown fan. You guys can rewind to our 2022 draft night extravaganza live stream, and Pat Pitts breaking the news to me that A.J. Brown was being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was beside myself in pure joy and elation because I have been such a fan of A.J. Brown from day one. I think he's one of the best wide receivers going. And I think even more so now because he's on the Philadelphia Eagles. And for him to just put his head down every single week, getting criticized for reading a book on the sidelines, to calling out the passing game and thinking that, people are thinking he's calling out Jalen Hurts in particular because of that, thinking that he's a diva. He's not. He's a winner. A.J. Brown is a winner. And I'm just so proud of him for the way that he has carried himself this season, and it's been that way his entire career. And just kind of put his head down, battled through, still put up incredible numbers, even in games missed. He still had incredible numbers, missing time this year due to injury. Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl and helped carry this team to victory. And for AJ to go up to that podium and drop the mic on everyone's heads that doubted him, that has criticized him, that has talked poorly about him, a great job well done by AJ Brown. I think the speech that resonated to me the most, because it really shows that he's kind of picked up the mantle in a sense, and I think really rose his stock in the eyes of Philadelphians. Not that it was low ever, but I think a lot of people didn't realize how much he cares about the city of Philadelphia, and that's Landon Dickerson. I think Landon Dickerson's speech was so well put together, and sure, he dropped some F-bombs. He dropped the word shit a couple of times. Who cares? I think Landon's speech resonated with me the most because he hit home on, the support that the Eagles got from everywhere, from every county, around Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, New Jersey, everywhere he hit home on. And you can tell that it really means a lot to these guys when Eagles fans are not only at home games, but when they travel. He said, "I don't think I've played an away game my entire career." That's something that, anyone can just say that. But when you say that in a Super Bowl champion speech at your parade, I think that resonates a lot with fans. And I think that is such a really, close to the vest thing that these guys, they notice it. But do they notice it? And I think that tells you these guys notice how much Eagles fans everywhere really do, move the needle for this team. And, Lane Johnson's speech was perfect. And, of course, Brandon Graham. I think Brandon Graham dropped the biggest flex of all time. Having both Super Bowl trophies side by side, bookending himself and sandwiching himself in between them. And BG's speech was perfect. He's a legend in this city. You can see how well respected and well regarded he is with not only the fans, but with his teammates and coaches and staff and Howie and Jeffrey Lurie, and how much they really care about Brandon Graham. And to see him up there and that iconic photo is something that will live in Eagles history forever. We'll have Jason Kelsey in the Mummers outfit, but we'll also have Brandon Graham sandwiched between two Lombardi trophies. And I think that's so, so cool. Seeing James Bradbury celebrate and all the stories that have come out about, how he tore his Achilles in training camp, and rather than going home and pouting and being down on his luck and everything, he stuck around and essentially became another coach on this team, was working with the young guys, and you can tell that was the case. And I'm so happy for James Bradbury to be a champion. That's what he came here for. To see the speech from Darius Slay was awesome. And to just see these guys celebrate with the fans, bringing, Nolan Smith, air quotes for everybody just listening, abducted a fan and a child and brought him around the parade route. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and a bunch of guys were just running through the middle of the street with kids clinging on to them. It looked like real life Rocky. And the more the days go by and we celebrate the greatness of this team on the field and their accomplishments on the field and what they've been able to do, the more I think this Super Bowl is so meaningful to every Eagles fan, is that this team is just as special off the field than it is on the field, if not more. The classiness and the appreciation that these guys have for one another, for everybody in their building, for every fan, is something we haven't been able to experience, I don't think, in my lifetime from an entire full roster of players that everyone can resonate with, that everyone likes. Like, you can't name an Eagle on the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles roster that is unlikable if you're an Eagles fan. Now, there's going to be haters who are talking smack about QB1 because they're haters. But genuinely, there's nobody on this Eagles roster that is unlikable. They are so likable. They are so relatable. And I think that's what makes this celebration, and what really hit with me at the parade was the likability and the ability to resonate with this team and relate to them. And that's why I think this team will forever be so special to me, is for the simple fact that they are so genuine and just so likable. They know themselves. They're unapologetically themselves. And they put their heads down and they go to work. And they know the job that is at hand for themselves. And I think, when it's all said and done, a big core of this roster will be together for a long time. And that's really awesome. But even, at the end of the day, when this era of Eagles football ends, which it ain't ending anytime soon, we're going to look back and just be like, wow, we lived in a golden era of Philadelphia Eagles football. And it all started with this team. And, to see the appreciation that Nick Sirianni has now, when I've been preaching to you for years now on this show, I've been preaching to y'all that he's a damn good football coach. It really just gave me a sense of pride and just profound proudness about this team and the way they conduct themselves and the way they hold themselves to such a high standard, and for them to be able to go out and showcase their joy for accomplishing their ultimate goal this season was so, so cool. And Jalen's speech was just awesome. For him to drop the Saquon Barkley in there, the pursuit continues, as Jalen said. And I'm just so proud of this team. I know I've said this a bunch over the past week or so, but this team they check every box. And it doesn't matter if it's Jalen Hurts, it doesn't matter if it's Saquon Barkley, or if it's, Milton Williams or Quinyon Mitchell or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. or James Bradbury or Avonte Maddox, Oren Burks, Nakobe Dean, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, top to bottom, different levels of excellence on this roster are relatable, they're likable, and I'm just so profoundly thrilled for them that they are Super Bowl champions. They got to celebrate with the best fans on earth. And we put on a show, Philadelphia, South Jersey, Delaware. Eagles everywhere. I think the crazy thing, obviously, I went from the parade to the following day going down to Northern Virginia for the PLL Championship Series, which the PLL and WLL are world-class organizations and world-class leagues and entities. And if you're not watching lacrosse, you're missing out. Congratulations to Paul Rabel, Mike Rabel, and Rachel DeCecco. Rachel DeCecco, known Eagles fan, on just a brilliant week of lacrosse and unbelievable product put out there for the masses. But, as I'm walking around the St. James down in Northern Virginia, I had to show out. Every day I was wearing Eagles gear. And the amount of Eagles fans that were at the St. James down in Northern Virginia, that's, Ravens Commanders country, the amount of Eagles fans, I can't even begin to tell you. And people I know, who I've known for a while now that are Eagles fans. And finding that out was awesome. I kid you not, I've probably dropped a Go Birds or, Go Eagles to at least 25 people who I met for the first time or for the first time found out they were Eagles fans this weekend. The head coach of the WLL Championship Series champion Boston Guard, Eagles fan. The head coach of the runner-up squad, the New York Charging, Eagles fan. The Golden Stick Award winner, Matt Campbell from the Boston Cannons, Eagles fan. Majority of the Utah Archers, the runners-up, Eagles fans. There's a kid in the stands wearing a Kelly Green Cooper DeJean jersey, and I'm wearing my jacket, and he sees me and is puffing the jersey up, and I hit him with the Go Birds, and, that was awesome. It was such a cool thing to feel, and it wasn't in our backyard. It wasn't in South Jersey. It wasn't in Philadelphia, which is the norm. That's like saying hello around here. It's a Go Birds. But to see it out in the wild like that, it truly resonated, that phrase that the Eagles put out there with the Eagles everywhere. And it's so true. The profound amount of fandom that this fan base delivers week in and week out, and just across the globe is so special. And the parade was incredible. The feeling still has not sunk in whatsoever. And I'm just thinking about these speeches constantly. I'm thinking about Nolan Smith. I'm thinking about Quinyon Mitchell, Landon Dickerson, 10:45 in the morning, 11 a.m., running down the streets of Philadelphia, grabbing a microphone from Fox 29 and saying, I just got one thing to say, go fucking Birds. It was just so cool to see the happiness on these guys' faces, and they deserve it so much. Howie dropping one of the coldest photos of all time, gets hit in the head with a beer can. He's got a cigar in mouth, sunglasses on, walking down, the parade route, and it's just one of the coldest photos of all time. And Howie going up with his speech, I bleed for this city. Ugh, hook it to my veins. Hook it to my veins, Howie. And then seeing Saquon with Avonte Maddox sitting on the Art Museum steps, soaking it all in. That's how I felt. And not saying that I'm, on the same level of Saquon, but, I'm still soaking it all in. And just, trying to process the fact that we won the Super Bowl, guys. And I don't know when it'll, excuse me, I don't know when it'll hit. For sure. But, I don't ever want to stop talking about this team. And I know in years past, I've talked about how I've gotten football fatigue, because my football season, going from the draft to, my summer traveling and covering the PLL, to then the tail end of that is when my high school football season starts for my broadcast job, and our podcast with Vineland High School football starts, which is a huge production. To then going through Thanksgiving for high school football on top of the NFL season starting, to then really locking in NFL play. Like, I've been going football since like mid-August, full send, with high school and then the Eagles. And then I'll have the month of March kind of to breathe, but also taking in March Madness. And then April, the draft will roll around. And then before we know it, it's going to be August, and preseason will be here, and all of that. It's a crazy, turbulent life covering the sport of football. And you can get that fatigue. But, like, this team truly, like, really reinvigorated my spark. And not that I ever lost my fandom, but it really, like, relit the flame inside me and the pride I have of being an Eagles fan. And not that that was ever gone. But you guys know I'm a diehard Phillies fan. Like, those are my boys. And to see this Eagles team become so likable, become so relatable, it really just, like, connected on a different level for me this year than really any other team that I've experienced in my lifetime. And to me, that's special. To me, that's generational. And I love Jalen saying the pursuit continues. The Jordan Brand Love Hurts campaign across the city was fantastic. The photo of Jalen on the parade bus with the Lombardi in one hand, his Kangol on his head, and the Love Hurts hoodie, and just looking on to his people as the president, the king of Philly. I'm just so happy for Jalen Hurts, man. And I can't stop watching any of the mic'd up stuff. I can't stop watching any of the clips from the parade, any of the speeches, any of the highlights from the Super Bowl. It is just on loop, on loop, on loop, on loop, on loop for me. And it will be that way for a very, very, very long time. And I can't wait to talk about this more on Thursday's show with Harrison, and just continue diving into so much. But I do think, going away this weekend and being out of just, like, constantly going through, really, like, set in stone, like, how passionate and how beautiful this fan base is. And seeing and taking in Eagles everywhere was a really awesome experience. Just so cool. Just so cool. And I will cherish every minute of this team for as long as I can. The unscripted was unbelievable. The speeches in that gave me chills, and just thinking about the Chiefs were never beating this team. That is the coolest part, is that they knew the task at hand and they were not going to get beat. So yeah, I am exhausted. It's been a wild 2 weeks. I wanted to get this podcast out for you guys. And I apologize that it's a bit shorter, but we will be back on Thursday, myself and Harrison, for you guys, talking more parade, talking more vibes about this team, and just the joy that this Super Bowl championship has brought us, and a whole lot more. It's going to be a wild week for me too, so apologies on any delays in shows across our network, kind of experiencing a little delays in getting out. I have right back into another gig at Buena Regional High School with our musical that I'm getting ready to go and start our tech week with and our opening week with. So hopefully one day I'll be able to sleep. But until that day comes, I'm eternally grateful for you guys checking this episode out. I know it's not a whole full-blown lot of substance, but just want to get my initial reaction thoughts to the parade out there and everything that's happened over the course of the weekend. So appreciate you all. Make sure you're following us on the socials at Underground PHI, and I made true on my statement to Harrison. Jalen Hurts is on the overlay if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure you're following us at Underground PHI across the board. Follow me if you'd like to. Subscribe to the pod. Please subscribe to the pod on Apple and Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating or review. It goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Keep subscribing. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland. And the City of Vineland is the place to be. If you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 717 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. Still champs. I'll catch you guys on Thursday's episode with Harrison, but until then, we're still champs. I'm getting that cup out of here, and I'm signing off, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Go Birds.